when we started working on the museum room by room, we had, as I said earlier, we had some pieces that had been given to us by Perry County families, and we didn't have anywhere to go with them. But when we stopped to consider that we were going to have to fill an 8-room house, and these are large rooms, this is a big old southern plantation type home, I thought, my goodness, we're going to have a lot of empty rooms. So we started, people involved in the society, and myself in particular, started going to rummage sales and yard sales and letting people know that we would love to have things, and the reception was just marvelous. There was a young man who was 2 generations younger than I, who was very interested in things historical, and he worked with an auctioneering company. His name was Steve Stryler, and every weekend that he would have an auction, he would call me when he would be through with the auction, and he'd say, "Come down to my house and look through this stuff that I bought at the auction and see if there's anything you'd like for the museum." And I would, and he had lots of things that we were interested in, because we were interested in all of the old businesses who had at one time operated in Perryville, and many of them were gone. We were interested in pictures of the old families. We were interested in the kind of items that people used in their homes. For instance, we have a gas light. At one time, some Perry County homes were lighted by gas, and we have one of the gas lights from that home. All sorts of things, rolling pins, kitchen utensils, all of these kinds of things. And we were able to find enough things that we thought we are going to have enough to fill 8 rooms and then some, and which has turned out to be the case. The rooms were structured, we tried to put things that we thought were similar in a sense. For instance, we have one big room in the museum, the largest one in the museum, and we've put things sort of indicative of a parlor or a room in the home where you would have interesting things that you might invite company into. We have a room that we have almost everything in it pertains to kitchen items, dishes and cabinets and that sort of thing. We have a room in which there are children's toys, dolls, things that kids might have played with a long time ago. And it doesn't even have to be a long time ago, but because we found out that people are very interested in things that they used when they were growing up. So we collect things from the 50s and 60s, and I hope the people that continue with the museum will do the same thing, because 50 years from now, those things are going to be, people come in and they say, "Oh, I had one of those when I was a kid. Isn't that marvelous?" So, and then we have a room in which we call it the professional room, because we have doctors' items, dentists' items, lawyers' items. Perry County and Perryville have always been very fortunate, because at no time in our history have we been without professional people. We've always had more than 1 or 2 doctors, more than 1 or 2 lawyers, more than 1 or 2 dentists to serve our community. And those families have given us items that are appropriate to that room upstairs. Also in that room are teaching. We have a desk at which 2 kids would have sat in the rural school system, and a school bell, and all those kinds of things are in our professional room. We have a room downstairs and the hall, which we call the military room. We started trying to collect all the pictures we could find of any Perry County person who was in any of the wars or just in the military. They didn't have to have been in a war, but if they served in the military, we asked for their picture. And that room and that hall are devoted to those kinds of things. We have uniforms and pictures and guns, and which go back to the Revolutionary War.
Wow. Has the museum changed a lot since it started in terms of its content? Do you turn things over in here at all?
My hope when we started was that every year we were going to have a different display of things. But I soon found out that that was a really, really hard thing to do unless you had a working group, more than just 1 or 2 people. So I have been fortunate because the last couple of years there have been two I'm saying young people, who have been very interested in the museum, and they're working with me to see that that kind of thing happens. And we're in the process right now of trying to move out some of the things that we've had on display for a while and store them and bring in new things. And I hope that we'll be able to do that even more effectively in the years to come.